Hi, everybody. So, in the spirit of full transparency and wanting to grow and continue to play around with my Substack, I am adding video for this week just so you could hear directly from me and what this week's note, thought process, what inspired me to write about finding magic in this world of chaos and the timeline that we're in. And one of the things that I noticed for myself was I was really struggling in two different areas of my life. And I knew that if I continued to sort of go back to my old ways of doing things and how I would normally approach change, it wasn't going to be good for me in the long term. So I really wanted to be mindful of what I was doing for my own um, energy replenishment and how I was going to be different this time around. So, in this week, I really talk about things that I personally did in order to sort of calm my nervous system and to, really allow for both my mind and my body, and not only those two, but my spirit, right? So, how could I allow my spirit to sort of catch up with and to really hold some of the grief that ended up bubbling up as a result? And when I started thinking about what I was witnessing within my own clients, within myself, within my friend group. Um, there was sort of this underlying wave and underpinning of grief in general that was coming up with all of the changes that were swirling around us. And so this week, I offer some ways to consider tapping back into your body, tapping back into what is going to make me feel a little more settled when things around us feel out of our control and a bit chaotic. So, I mentioned some things that I went ahead and did, sometimes consciously and sometimes unconsciously as well. I also talk about ways in which we can um, come back to our center, right? Come back to our center when it feels like the boat is just rocking us back and forth. It's like, okay, what is in my own, sphere of influence, sphere of control? And again, how can I reassure whether it's my inner child or who I am in this moment that I'm actually okay? And when we breathe into those ways of slowing down just a little bit, it allows for everything to just sort of settle, right? And settle a little bit more and settle a little bit more. It's all a practice, y'all. It's all a practice. And finally, I mentioned at the end that if you are finding yourself in this time period of where am I going? I feel like life is happening to me, or I'm done living my life in ways that are either just for my family, just for my culture, just for the way society has told me I need to be. And if you find yourself struggling with that and wanting a different direction from and needing more support from someone who's been there, I have a couple of different ways to respond to that. And one is that one, you could keep reading my Substack, you could keep following me. But two, I'd love to invite you to a couple of the spots that I have available for my Spark, Create the Life You Truly Crave. It's a one-to-one coaching and mentoring program that I designed specifically for solo, child-free women of color. But what I'm finding is that there are folks who don't necessarily fit all three of those identities and categories. And if you still find yourself intrigued, I still invite you in, right? I still invite you to come forth and have a conversation with me. Let's explore together, right? I'm learning this, and I've learned this as I've gone on in my life. And what my hope is, as my alarm goes off, that you also can lean into some of that um, imperfectionism, right? My alarm literally just went off on my phone. I'm doing this in a one-shot take. Doesn't matter. I'm letting go myself of perfectionism. I'm letting go of what's expected of me and some of the beliefs that have been passed down along over the years. And what I've created is a curriculum, a journey that will help you in 12 weeks in ways that took me years to kind of figure out on my own and through different support mechanisms. So if that's calling to you, if you are curious, please book a clarity call with me. I'd love to get to know you a bit more and to just see what magic is possible from here. All right, y'all. Till next time, I will see you in the next week, in the next iteration of my Substack. Until then, take care of yourselves. All right. Cheers.